So I've been practicing a little bit with the pedal assist. I took out on a single track trail today, a real tight uh, trail down at the river, and that was an experience. You got to get used to that because I mean, you're turning all the time like this, real sharp turns and stuff. You're trying to pedal through there, and your bike keeps taking off, and I'm like, I better go down in a pedal, down one number. I'd be in like 3, and I'm usually in 5 because this 5 takes off full speed, and I'm doing that around every corner. You'll be wrecking, So, speaking of wrecking, I wrecked again today. Damn, man, dirt's a lot softer than pavement. I'll tell you that. I wrecked in the dirt, man. A branch reached out and grabbed my handlebars and stopped it. And I was like, whoa, wham. Good thing it didn't hurt my rib. I broke about a couple of weeks ago wrecking. So don't be wrecking. That's my 3rd wreck. I've went down 3 times hard. 3 hard times, Today I was like, oh shit. Jumped right up though, but the industry won't do regen braking on any store-bought bikes or won't develop it or do any research on it because you get so little amount of electricity back into the battery that they look at it like that's not enough electricity going back to the battery to waste our time developing this. So they're not even putting regen on bikes, It's DIY people are doing it. Conversion kits and stuff are doing it. They're not even putting them on there. Well, let me tell you something. You'll never go back. I mean, I'll never put a mechanical brake back on here as long as that electric brake's working. No way. I mean, it's like just the sound of the brake pads hitting the rim and making that noise and the friction and all that. Yeah, none of that happens. You don't have to do that. No friction, no noise. It just stops. So I'm disappointed in the industry. Like, they should be developing it for the electric brakes, not for the regen that goes to the motor. And the regen ain't enough going to the motor, so they won't even worry about it. It's like these brakes make your disc brakes and your V brakes junk. They're junk. I mean, like, I'm doing all my stopping on my rear wheel now, not skidding it. I'm using my front too, but I can just tell it's like, that's a rear wheel, man. And it used to be like 20-30% of the stopping was the rear wheel. You can lock it up and it doesn't, no, not with the regen. It's like, it just stops it, man. And it sucks that the industry's not making a bunch of fancy brake levers for it and developing stuff for the regen braking, but they're not because you're only going to get like 1% charge back into your battery. And that's if you're going down a bunch of hills, and stuff like that. And it's like, well, I might not even get that because I don't coast ever. I'm full throttle all the time. I don't coast. I go up the hill. I go down the hill, full throttle. So I'm thinking now, okay, maybe I should start coasting down the hills a little bit and trying to get the regen to recharge the battery a little bit and stuff like that. I said, well, I don't coast. So, I mean, it'd have to be a steep downhill for me to not be pedaling and giving it full throttle. If I'm out on the roads, I full throttle. The industry needs to work on the electric brakes. They need to realize those are cool. They need to realize on your direct drive hub motors, you don't need but a few gears. You could be a single speed bike, actually. I'd like, you like to, if you go up in the mountains, you're going to have some hill climbing gear too, but you could do that with 4 or 5 gears, 3 gears even, a low one, a middle one, and a high one, And the high one, I don't know if they realize this yet on their bikes, but like my biggest gear is matched to my full throttle. So it's matched where I can pedal when I'm doing full throttle. And that's the way they all should be. You should make, your last gear should match your full throttle. And if you got to go slower, you get, gear down and whatever. But they need to realize that you don't need a bunch of gears on these bikes, not the direct drive ones and stuff. And I haven't used a mid drive. Actually, I have it, but I got on my friends for just a second. But his is a $7,000 piece of junk, basically. because he let other people ride it, and they bent his derailleur and stuff. He was all like, I need to work on it. I found a bend in his derailleur. I showed him all this and showed him how you upgrade the cage on them derailleurs and all this. I don't know if he'll do it or not, but I'm like, who did that, man? Don't let him ride your bike, man. But without regen braking, that's a big decision for me. When I go to buy a next motor to do another kit, it's like, well, these two here don't have no regen braking. Why would I want to build that? It's like, well, I want to do a mid-drive, or say I want to do a geared hub motor. But they know you can't regen brake on those. Well, you can, but they just figured it out. And it was way over my head. I could see the guys from Grin and stuff. They're like, oh, yeah. And then the guy's like, no, man, you're missing the best part. Check this. Oh, another fucking thing. It's like this dude come in and solved all the problems. Just one of them people that like, well, who's having a problem? No, this industry can't figure this out. And he'll just work on it. He don't ride e-bikes, but he got a motor and everything. He figured it out. He just mounted the disc brake to the clutch inside the motor. And it doesn't move while you're going. And when you hit your brakes, then the disc brake starts rolling. It's weird. It'll even work without electricity somehow. I don't know. You have to go and watch that video. I haven't explained it. It's well over my head, but it was cool. It was cool. That guy figured it out. Now they're going to be able to put regen braking and regen charging on a geared motor, a hub motor. I don't know if they do it on the mid-drive, but they do it on the hub motor. And I'm not digitally proportioned. I'm just on or off on my rear brake. Want to get digital proportion. That's a learning curve. It'll be the next thing I'm learning. You got to use a transformer and stuff for your rheostat that you use as your brake lever. Whatever you use as your brake lever has to have like a volume knob in it, with ohms. It's got to be able to move an ohm set. And them ohms have to be right or you won't get all your braking. You know what I mean? You'll just be on the last end of it or just the first of it or something. So I got to get that matched right. And the only thing I've seen is this thumb throttle everybody's using. And it's like all thumb throttles are $10, $12. $10, $12. Got this one, looks just like all the other ones, but it's programmed to work with certain controllers, and it's $70. I'm like, oh, hell no. I'll build my own. I ain't gonna let you make a bunch of money off me because you mark a damn thumb throttle up 500% because we need it for these electric brakes. Not only will I not buy my brake from you, I won't buy a motor, I won't buy nothing from you ever again. It's like, don't be like that. These DIY people, man, we doing shit on a budget. If I had $7,000 to go buy an e-bike, I'd probably put it in the bank and spend $500 and build me one because I ain't seeing nothing on the trail that can outrun mine. That's for damn sure. And they ain't got regen braking. I don't want nothing to do with them. So I'm driving the bottom of the barrel direct drive, happier than shit. It ain't the bottom of the barrel no more. I got regen. I got electric brakes that are unmatchable by mechanical brakes. You can't. It don't matter if it takes a quarter of a finger to pull it in. It ain't about that. It's like I don't have to put any pressure to do my rear brake. I mean, it's a switch. It just turns on and shuts it down. So it's like I don't have to use any pressure. I could just put it on the switch and literally, So it's like my front brake is still mechanical, and the harder I pull it, the more I stop. But as soon as I start pulling it, my rear brake goes on. And I'm like, just barely pulling it in and stop like that. Most of my stopping's coming from my rear wheel now. And like I said, I'd never go back. I mean, just the sound of a mechanical brake annoys me now, that I've seen how they can work. It's like I can't put it on the front unless, I'm thinking, how can I brake my front wheel without a motor on it? I mean, that's almost worth putting a hub motor on the front then. I go with me a little 300 watt hub motor in the front. So I can have electric braking up there too, So yeah, that's about all I got. Regen braking's great. The industry's not doing it because it doesn't recharge the battery enough, And the same industry doesn't realize you don't need a bunch of gears on a direct drive hub motor bike. You don't need but like 3 to 5 gears. Maybe low, medium, and a high, however low you want to go. And then a medium, and then your high gear is supposed to match. It should match your full throttle. So when you're going full throttle, you should be able to pedal in your top gear. That's the way I set mine up. And then you go slower. Of course, I got 15 gears on here. I had 21. I took that 7 off and put a 5-speed hub on it, and it's better. Got something in the mail.